welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we are here with week 3 of season 4 of the Delta Battle League. And guys, so usually I would do a team builder on Thursday, and then I'd have the battle, on whatever day they're supposed to come out. In this case, Sundays. But I can't always do team builders and release them on Thursdays because the battles don't always happen before then, and I can't release the team builder before the battle because then they'd be able to know what we are doing. So I got this idea from this week's opponent because I actually just watched his video today. This week's opponent is Lauder Dude 13 or Lord of the Rings Dude 13. His link will be in the description below, and his name may sound familiar because he has been in our division the past 2 seasons in the Delta Battle League, and we've kind of been some rivals, butting heads against each other, Been going back and forth between us. So this is a really big game for us. Just more of a pride thing. I mean, it's big because of division-wise, because we're in the same division again this season, but it's also big for pride, because, Kansas City and Minnesota, we going at it, apparently, in this league. So I watched this battle, and he did his team builder before his battle, and I'm like, that's actually a pretty good idea, because some of these battles don't take as long, especially because they're on Showdown, and I do them post-narrated, so they go a lot faster. So I figured this gives a little more meat to the video for you guys to figure out, or to watch, and then you kind of know what I'm going with my set, too, instead of just me being like, oh, blah, 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 and then possibly missing out on important stuff. So we're going to look at my team, but first I want to read off his team. So he has Chansey, Mega Gardevoir, Electivire, Mudsdale, Umbreon, Primarina, Empoleon, Typhlosion, Alolan Golem, Pinsir, and Scrafty. So he's got some really big bulky mons with Chansey, Mudsdale, Umbreon. Empoleon can be pretty bulky too. Alolan Golem can be defensive. And then some heavy hitters with Mega Gardevoir, Electivire, who's of course our mascot, and he keeps us drafting them, so we gotta beat him down for that. Mudsdale hits really hard, Primarina can hit hard, Typhlosion can hit hard with Eruptions, Alolan Golem, and then Scrafty if it starts getting set up. So you can see the team in front of you here. I'll go through each of them individually. You'll notice there's no Mega Charizard this week. I don't know what I was thinking when I was team building. So when I was team building, I'm like, oh no, he has a lot of threats for Charizard. I better not bring it. But now that I'm looking at it again, I'm like, there wasn't too many threats for Charizard. I mean, obviously the Mega Gardevoir hits just anything really hard, so it's always a threat. I think part of it was Chansey was there, and Chansey's like that special wall. Electivire, I was assuming would end up being Scarfed, even though it's his Z-Mon. And he has one other Z-Mon, Primarina. Primarina is his other Z-Move-Mon. So in this league, we can only have 2 Mons that can use Z-Moves, and his are Electivire and Primarina. And so then Primarina and Empoleon were water types, but then I'm setting up the Sun, and I can like Solar Beam, I can Earthquake, all that fun stuff. Typhlosion was like, oh, you resist my fire type moves, and that boosts his Eruption. And then Alolan Golem was the scariest one. Alolan Golem's really what scared me away from bringing Mega Charizard. But honestly, I still should have brought it. It probably still would have been really good this week. But alas, we did not do that. So first Pokemon I picked was Breloom, and that's because he does have Chansey. Breloom really helped us against Blissey the previous week. We're also super effective against Mudsdale, Umbreon, Primarina, Empoleon, Alolan Golem, and Scrafty, and then we can carry Rock Tomb for Typhlosion and Pinsir if we were to catch them coming in. So I just went with Focus Sash, Technician, Breloom, Mach Punch, Bullet Seed, Spore, Rock Tomb, nothing special. 204 speed. I don't remember exactly who that's made to outspeed. I think it's made to outspeed a mon that if it's not invested, we outspeed it. Or something along those lines. It might be Adam and Electivire we outspeed, but again, I'm not 100% sure on the speed stat for this Breloom, but just know it outspeeds something on his team. And then we have Focus Sash, so that if we have to go up against Gardevoir and we're fully sashed out, we're good to go. We can Spore, we can Bullet Seed it, and maybe catch some Rock Tombs on some things. So that's Breloom, just a good mon to have. And then, because I do have Mega Charizard Y on my team, and I'm assuming Stealth Rocks are going to be coming every single week against us, and I wanted to keep the Focus Sash around, I brought Woodstock with the Defog, this little Togetic, Defog. Dazzling Gleam can hit Scrafty for 4 times super effective, so I figured we'd need that. Heal Bell, in case Chansey wants to try and stall us with Toxic, or the Umbreon as well. And then Roost. I was going to go Wish, but I didn't want to do as much passing this week, so I figured I'd just try and keep Woodstock alive so we can keep Defog around to make sure that those rocks aren't staying up. So that is our little... And then I made it so that both Hyper Voice and Psyshock can only do 60% from Mega Gardevoir to Togetic. I wanted to make sure we're bulking on both sides, just in case he carries Psyshock to be able to hit especially defensive mons. And then I brought Bubble Bunny, Choice Banded this week, not Sap Sipper. Sorry there, Gassy. I didn't make Sap Sipper work. Super Gassy used Sap Sipper, Azumarill, and PGL one year. But so I went Choice Band, Max Attack, Adamant, with enough speed to outspeed Electivire if it's not invested, and then a bunch of HP. And we have Aqua Jet, Play Rough, Superpower, Waterfall. Choice Banded Play Rough knocks out Gardevoir, and then Aqua Jet I think does 80% to the Gardevoir. And Play Rough with Choice Band also knocks out Umbreon, and just lots of good stuff. Scrafty as well. So we're just here to hit hard with the Azumarill like usual. And then I brought Aggron. So originally this Aggron set was sturdy with weakness policy with rock polish, and then enough speed to be able to outspeed max speed Mega Gardevoir once we got the rock polish up. And then hopefully it was carrying Focus Blast or something to be able to bring me down to sturdy and weakness policy. And then Iron Head one hit KOs with this with normal investment, but I didn't want to rely that he brought Focus Blast for Aggron, especially because I hadn't brought Aggron yet. So I didn't want to completely rely on that to be able to take out Mega Gardevoir, so I decided to go with Stealth Rock on the Aggron instead, and then Iron Head, Earthquake, Rock Slide. Iron Head hits that Mega Gardevoir, and that's about it, really. And then Earthquake for the Alolan Golem, and Electivire, and then Rock Slide was there for Earthquake was there for Typhlosion. Rock Slide was there for Pinsir. That's who that was there for. So just Stealth Rock Setter, really. He was meant to come in after we got rid of his Stealth Rock Setter, so I didn't have to worry about defogging my own rocks away. And then just to, like, whittle some things down, so like Breloom, and then later Raichu and Crocodile could also come in and clean them up. So that's our Aggron. And then I brought Alolan Raichu. Honestly, I probably should have put Charizard in this spot over Raichu. But Raichu is there for Thunderbolting against Primarina and Empoleon. And then Grass Knot is for the Mudsdale. Psyshock is for Chansey once again. And then we have Nasty Plot. So Alolan Raichu is one of our Z-move mons. And I was going to carry Raichuium Z isn't on Showdown, so I don't know what's going on with that. So we can't do a paralysis nonsense with that. But the Electrium Z does the same amount of damage as the Raichuium Z. And it still does nothing. I grossly underestimated Alolan Raichu, I guess, before I drafted it. I thought it had a little more special attack than it does. It's only 95, which isn't honestly too great. I'm a little upset with that. I didn't really notice that it was such a low special attack stat. I mean, it's not super low, obviously. It could be lower, but it could be higher, is what I'm trying to say. So we have Life Orb, and the Psyshock's also for Electivire, so we can't switch in there. But yeah, there's the Alolan Raichu. Wipeout's his name. And he has enough speed to outspeed Timid, Max Speed, Mega Gardevoir. And then our last mon, so originally Crocodile was going to be our Stealth Rock Setter, and he was going to be a little more bulkier this week, because I didn't want to always run the Choice Scarf set like we ran last week. But then I was like, God, Choice Scarf Crocodile just does so good. Now, you'll notice the item is leftovers. So I originally built him, like I said, bulky, and then I was like, nah, I'll put Choice Scarf. I mean, I don't want to use Choice Scarf every week, but it's just so good against this team. We have Iron Tail for the Gardevoir, and then that one-hit Chaos Gardevoir. Earthquake hits Electivire for super effective, Empoleon, Typhlosion, Alolan Golem, and then Knockoff can hit nothing for super effective, but it does get rid of items, which could be nice. And then Superpower hits Chansey and Umbreon. and Alolan Golem, and Scrafty for super effective damage. And then we're Moxie. And we have enough speed to outspeed Adamant Electivire again, so I wasn't sure if he was going to be Choice Scarf Electivire. And if he went Adamant, then we'd outspeed him. If he went Jolly, then we wouldn't. So that's our EV spread there. And I'm naive. Why am I naive? Why am I naive, Crocodile? Oh, this Crocodile was all kinds of messed up this week. So I already had the battle, so that's why I'm not changing anything right now. But yeah, it was supposed to be Choice Scarf, and it was not supposed to be a naive. I don't know where naive came from. I must have just put the minus in the wrong spot. Whoopsie. Well, good. We'll see if that comes into play in the battle. So yeah, attack, and then we put 44 in defense. So even if the Electivire is Choice Scarfed and it's Jolly, well, if it's Choice Scarfed and it's Jolly, then we live any hit from it, even Cross Chop. We don't live a crit, obviously, but avoiding crits, we do live Cross Chop and Ice Punch from Electivire. And then if he's Adamant, we would have sped him. So, and I believe we even live Adamant Electivire hits. So that's why I have that Crocodile. Again, I don't want to run Choice Scarf every week, but it was just too good against this team. Obviously, Iron Tail isn't the most not effective. That's not the word I'm looking for. Accurate move to be using to rely on to hit that Gardevoir. But if we've knocked out a couple Pokemon with Earthquake already, then we're looking pretty nice. So that is Crook. So we're gonna hop over to the battle here, and we're gonna see how this team turns out for us. Alright guys, so as you can see, the battle is here in front of you. Now it looks like he just chose the first 3 Mons from his draft, and on obviously the first 6, not the first 3. First 6 Mons from the draft, and honestly, that's what you'll see most of the time, because the first couple Mons are the Mons that you really wanted to use, and then it starts petering off towards the end. So you won't see the bottom ones as often, just a little tip for you drafters out there. But so he did bring Mega Gardevoir, Electivire, Umbreon, Mudsdale, Chansey, and Primarina. So again, both Electivire and Primarina have the Z moves, but we have to scout to see if that Electivire is Choice Scarfed, and then from there we have to decide if it's Jolly or not. So I just decide I can lead with Breloom here. We can spore anything on this team. If he decides to lead Chansey, which most likely he won't, and most likely he also won't switch in Chansey, and then has Natural Cure, I can just Bullet Seed from there. And Bullet Seed is going to be typically our best move against this team, because there's nothing that resists it, and then there's things that resist Mach Punch. So, and really the only Pokemon that are weak to Mach Punch are going to be that Chansey and that Umbreon. We really don't have to go for Rock Tombs here. If we want to try and make Pokemon slow down, we can. But so I'm going to lead Breloom and see how that turns out for us. So he does lead Primarina, which is perfect. I could just Spore here. I could have went for Bullet Seed, but I don't want to like not knock him out. And he brings in the Umbreon, so put that thing to sleep. And then I'm going to start going for Bullet Seeds in case he tries to switch in the Gardevoir on a Mach Punch or something. He does stay in. We get 3 hits with the Bullet Seed. I'm like, alright, this turn I Mach Punch in case he wants, or because obviously it's staying in. Unfortunately, not able to KO, but he does stay asleep, so now I'm going to switch up, go back to Bullet Seed in case he wants to bring in a resisted hit. So he brings in the Mudsdale, hoping to pick up a little stamina boost there, but this Bullet Seed, even with stamina, is still going to be doing a nice amount. Unfortunately, only 2 hits there, so we need to get 3 hits on the second Bullet Seed to be able to knock him out. Because of stamina boosts, unfortunately, only get 2, so that's really going to mess us up, because we're going to lose our Focus Sash here to the close combat. But that does mean I can knock him out. I can go for another Bullet Seed in case he wanted to switch for any reason. We outspeed, so Mudsdale's going to go down, and now the Gardevoir is going to come in. I'm like, alright, I can save this Breloom. I'm going to switch it out. We're going to go into Bubble Buddy, because we can take 1 hit from this Gardevoir, but he goes for Wish. He does forget to Mega Evolve, but it didn't really matter that turn. So he Mega Evolves here, goes for Thunderbolt, and then I can play Rough, and we do hit. That's going to knock out the guard. So biggest threat on the team gone. Now we just have to worry about this Electivire, which comes in right now. I'm going to switch out. Since Gardevoir's gone, I do not need Aggron anymore, so I'm going to switch him in. Aggron, sorry my dude, you got sacked here. This is your first game, and you just get knocked out. But that was really big for the team, so thank you, Ironsides. So now I can switch in Crook, and I'm just going to go for the Earthquake here. He switches out, and makes me think he is choice. He switches into Primarina. I get a critical hit. Don't think it mattered. It still probably would have done around 50%, so we would have been able to get our Moxie boost. Then in comes the Electivire. So this made me think he was scarfed, but I knew I could live, so I take the cross top. Actually, I thought I was scarfed too, so that's when I figured out I wasn't scarfed, because we'll see the leftovers pop up here. We do get another crit. That one didn't matter. We were +1. And I'm like, oh, I'm leftovers. Whoops. But that does mean I can switch to superpower to knock out the Chansey, so it kind of helped us in the long run, I think. I don't know if +2 Earthquake takes out Chansey or not. But that does mean Crocodile gets a nice clean sweep once again. So after watching his battle, I did find out that his Electivire was Electrium Z. He was carrying the Z move on his Electivire. So had I actually been choiced, we wouldn't have had the chance to be crit, because he did have cross chop. So there was the chance that we could have been critted by that. And that could have... Well, I mean, I don't know that what necessarily would have made the match, but it could have dropped our differential, which we need, because the other person in our league, or the other person in our division, who is the coach of the Irvine Infernapes, I believe his first week was a forfeit, which counts as a 6-0 this season, which I don't entirely understand, because I just think that's a little bit broken. I think it's that way to try and what's the word? Try to discourage forfeits, because I think there was a lot of them last season. So they went from 3-0 to 6-0, because typically it's 3-0 if you forfeit ahead of time, but it's a 6-0 if you run during the battle, I believe is how it usually is in leagues. At least that's how it's been in other leagues. But I guess it's 6-0s this season. So and then he got 6-0 against somebody, Tiki. So he was 12-0 after week 1, and it's like, and now we're never gonna catch him, because he had that forfeit and he got that 6-0. I mean, there's obviously still time to catch him, but we need a lot of points, so that 5-0 really helps. So now we're at a +5 differential. And GG to you, my dude, LauderDude13. Be sure to go check him out. Link will be in the description below. Outside of that, I don't know if we have much else to say. I mean, Crocodile I believe he's in second place. He was in second place last week for kill-death ratios. Believe it or not, Mega Venusaur at the top right now, and he's on the Irvine Infernapes. Now that I think about it, maybe he didn't get a forfeit week 1. Maybe he actually has 2 6-0s. Huh. Well, we'll be going up against him at some point, so we'll have that updated statistic once we get to him in our battle. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and be sure to be checking back next week for week 4 of the Delta Battle League. I'm your coach, Sharpdress Gaming, of the Minnesota... I almost said Minnesota Electivire. The Minnesota Wild Charge, and we'll see you guys next time. Stay sharp, everyone, and go Wild Charge! That was weird. I won't say that again that way.